Hello everybody, welcome to another UConn PAES construction progress video. My name is Lou Gett. Today is March 17th and we are at the UConn Hartford campus. So there's been some exciting progress since the last time we were out, which was the first week in February. And let me show you what has been going on. So the last time we were out here, they were in the process of driving the piles. They had not started any of the footings yet. So mostly all the piles that are driven since the last time we were here. There's some in the area that they're using for access, but most of the piles have been installed. Most importantly, you can see the foundations have started, not only the footings, but some of the walls. This area here is called the south end of the building, and this would be the north end, the east, and the Hartford Times over here. So typically what you kind of see in the corner, see the large cap, that's what we call the pile caps. So the process is the piles are placed and a large cap goes over the top of the piles, which supports the foundation and ultimately the steel. So great progress since the last time we were out here. Looking at the southeast corner over here, we can see that the damp proofing and insulation's also been installed, and they're bringing the lifts up, and what we call the lifts, the soil lifts. And they'll bring it up to a particular elevation, just about right about at the plumbing elevation. There's quite a lot of plumbing that goes in, and they'll start in this section over here. So utility-wise, the conduits have been brought in. The main electrical rooms are right over into here. We're looking down at two fellas in here. The 4-inch is the water service that comes in over here, and the 8-inch is the fire service right next to that. So the contractor has two accesses so that they can still work with their trucks at this particular point, and that'll get closed off later. One at the south and one at the north. And a point of reference we talked in an earlier video is that's the wall that separates the atrium, the glassed in multi-story side to the north, and the courtyard, just about where you see the excavator is right about in here. And the pathway for the students and public will be right on the side of the Hartford Times, and they'll come in, and that's the open space that we're really looking forward to seeing. So you can see some protections up on the Hartford Times, and they've done that to keep the weather out, to keep the temperatures out. It's a shrink wrap, kind of this very similar that you see some of the boaters put on and heat shrink it to a very tight surface. Classic, foundation waterproofing membrane, which is directly up against the foundation, and the next is what we call a drainage board that allows the water to seep down in behind it, and then finally is the 2-inch rigid insulation that provides insulation for it. A great process, great way to work. Then ultimately there'll be drains on the outside even beyond that. So this is a little closer look at the pile cap. So underneath here is the grouping of the micro piles that we saw earlier. And then they take all of the micro piles that actually sit in a shape like this, and they pour a large concrete, reinforced concrete cap on top of that. Then the steel column goes on top of that, is the process for support. On the north end that they call, at the junction of what they call the east bar, and this is what we were just discussing here. So if you look down in between the massive amounts of rebar, you can see the pile caps. The area furthest away is considered a cap, and then it's actually tied into this monster grade beam which runs all the way through here. So number 8's, number 9 bars, and this is what we call reinforced concrete. This will all get cast in and make for locations for the structural steel to be supported on. Earlier from up on top on the atrium, and it's what we're looking at. That's and it's an interior structural wall, almost considered a retaining wall that supports the lower level basement on this side over here, which will be the courtyard. To this area here, which is not as low, is up much higher in floor elevation. And we're looking up at the Hartford Times. So actually we'll take a look, we'll do a little panoramic here, and that's where all of our shots are coming from, on top of the parking garage where I was standing earlier, is up to that location. So another shot at the interior structural retaining wall separating the basement, and it's kind of unique to see the contractor was smart enough to make a nice set of stairs to be able to ramp up, and the soil is left there because the soil is needed because the elevation is going to be up a little higher. great way to access the back side of the wall and keeping the soils. So sometimes they actually, for erosion control, they'll put plastic when the slope is very steep. It holds the rain from washing it back out like that. So finally, it'll give you some indication on how the design of the building was. If you look at the parking garage is level. If you look at the way the fence climbs up the hill, and that's exactly why on the left-hand side you have finished floor elevations in this section higher, because it's on the highest part of the hill, and the lower part why you get an additional basement area on this side, otherwise called the south side. So we're continuing, we're out in front of the Hartford Times here, and we're on the west side of the building, and the contractor has prepped for the new terrace coming into here. So they have a geotechnical fabric to separate the soils from the stone, so the stone doesn't mingle in between them. And they're getting ready to pour the new footings for the new terrace for the Hartford Times building. So once they go in, no one will ever be back down here again. We talk about that sometimes, the opportunity to be at ground floor level, and we'll take a minute and just take a peek from a view that's not seen too often from the bottom of the footing on the terrace, looking up at the granite columns. You can see the sign, the Hartford Times, at the top. You can hear the birds. They're on the move today. So we're going to finish our progress video today at this south entrance. We saw the trucks coming in earlier, and I just wanted to show you the classic case. One of our first videos, we talked about the steel piles and the cribbing that went in to support the soils on the back, and now you can see the reason. It's only 3 to 4 feet from the face of the wall, just giving the fellas enough room to work and to support the utilities. You're looking right at a storm manhole there. So that is the process. So Whiting Turner is doing a great job along with the university, and progress is fantastic for today. Remember to subscribe to our UConn PAES channel. Once subscribed, on the left-hand side, manage subscriptions. To the right, the gearbox symbol. A check next to send me all notifications for this channel with the save. Now anytime we add a project, update a project, you will receive an automatic email notification. We thank you for your interest in our UConn projects. Have a great day.